Hi, I'm Katie, and this is my co-host, Carol Joy.
And we're going to talk to you about Proposition 17. You'll see that on your ballot as restores right to vote after completion of prison term. This is a legislative constitutional amendment.
So, Carol Joy, what is the question behind Prop 17?
Prop 17 asks the question, should people on parole in California be allowed to register to vote and to vote in elections?
What are parolees' voting rights now?
Well, currently, the California Constitution prohibits people in state or federal prison or on parole from voting until their parole is completed. People who are in county jail or supervised by county probation are currently able to vote.
So, how does parole work?
Well, state parole generally supervises for a certain period of time those who serve a state prison term for serious or violent crimes.
And what is the current population of parolees in the state of California?
Well, as of right now, there are about 50,000 people on state parole.
What changes would Proposition 17 make?
Prop 17 would amend the state constitution to restore people on state or federal parole the right to vote as soon as they complete their prison term. Prop 17 would still prohibit people who are in prison from voting, but would allow those people on parole to vote.
Anything else?
Yes, those eligible to register to vote may also run for elective office if they're qualified. So if passed, those on parole would be able to register to vote, and to participate in elections themselves.
And what is the estimated fiscal impact?
If Prop 17 is approved, it would likely result in increased annual county and statewide costs in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Those funds would pay for voter registration and ballot materials. It would also result in one-time state costs, also likely in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, to update voter registration cards and systems.
So, what do supporters say about Prop 17?
The supporters say this, that parole is not punishment, but is to help to reintegrate people into the mainstream. Many parolees are working, paying taxes, raising families, and doing right. They cannot now vote on policies that affect their lives. The supporters also say the removal of the right to vote is rooted in a punitive justice belief system that attempts to rob marginalized people of their political power. It is not based on an interest in public safety.
And how about opponents? What do they say about Proposition 17?
Well, the opponents say that individuals on parole have not completed making full restitution for their crimes. Their liberties, such as movement and ownership of certain items, are heavily restricted and monitored. Any misstep results in re-incarceration. Opponents also say parole is to prove rehabilitation before full liberty, including voting rights, is restored.
So, in summary, a yes vote on Proposition 17 supports this constitutional amendment to allow people on parole the right to vote. A no vote leaves the current constitutional amendment in effect, thereby continuing to prohibit people who are on parole for felony convictions from voting. Thank you so much, Carol Joy.
Okay, and thank you, Katie.